Hi everyone, my name's Nat. I'm a driver-trained occupational therapist and a qualified driving instructor in South Australia. Today we're going to be discussing tips on how to pass your driving test. Let's go. So today we're diving into one of the most significant moments in your driving, passing your driver's test. This is usually a very stressful time, but a very exciting time nonetheless. Whether you're gearing up for your first go or looking to ace it on the retest, hopefully this is going to be your ultimate guide on helping you to pass your driving test. So first up, understanding your driving test. This is going to be incredibly important in knowing what to prepare for and how to prepare for your test. Passing your test is not just going to be demonstrating your skill, but knowing exactly what the examiner expects of you. And there's a couple of ways you can go about it. It's going to be up to you to do a bit of research here, because each country, state, and province might look completely different in terms of their driving test requirements. So, first thing that you're going to do is do an internet search, but make sure that the sites and resources you find and use are reputable sources that has valuable and up-to-date information. Your next option, and probably your best option, is finding a driving instructor in your local area. They'll be able to teach you not only how to drive, but drive to the standard that is expected in your test. They might be able to give you a few tips as to what routes are generally used, maybe not the exact ones, but at least the general and local area, so that you can actually get to know those roads so that you know what to expect more or less in terms of the route. They also might be able to give you a really good idea of what the scoring looks like. So if you know how they're going to score you and what they're going to score you on, you can either avoid the things that they don't want and really brush up on your skills in what they do want. You could also speak to someone that has recently either passed or failed their test. Even if you speak to someone that hasn't actually passed yet, they might be able to tell you what they did wrong and you can learn from that experience. They could also help in letting you know how they managed to succeed. My second tip is learning how to master your vehicle controls. That encompasses two things. The first thing is smooth acceleration and braking, and the second one is learning how to correctly operate your steering wheel. So coming back to the first point, you want to make sure that you are driving economically and also providing a smooth and comfortable drive to your passengers that will be the examiner. So what I'd like you to do is pretend that there's a full glass of water sitting on your dashboard and you don't want to spill any of it, which means that you really need to plan and think ahead in terms of when you want to brake, how you want to brake, and when and how you want to accelerate, so that you're not spilling any of that hypothetical water. When it comes to your steering and your turning, a lot of people really tense up, clenching their shoulders and really clenching their hands on the steering wheel, which could make your steering really jerky and taking corners really sharply. So take a deep breath in, relax your shoulders, and you relax your hands on the steering wheel. My third tip is ensuring that you practice your general driving as well as the maneuvers that you're going to be expected to perform in the test, and really ramping up your driving practice before you go for your test. A lot of people practice their maneuvers and feel confident and competent with them 2 to 3 weeks out, and then never do their maneuvers again. Make sure that you really practice most of your maneuvers, if you can, almost every day leading up to your test. What do I mean when I say maneuvers? Now, this is going to come back to doing your research in my tip 1. Each driving test is going to require you to do different maneuvers. That could include things like reverse parallel parking, angled parkings, 3-point turns, and moving off uphill. So knowing what to expect in terms of your maneuvers is going to be vital so that you can practice. The more comfortable you are with the general area that you're going to be driving in, the more relaxed and prepared you'll feel on the day. You also need to make sure that your driving is up to scratch with the observations and road rule requirements. So if you don't know your road rules, make sure that you touch up on those and make sure you know how often to check your mirrors, when to check blind spots, and what road rules apply in which scenarios. My last tips are all related to the test day itself. Firstly, you might be required to do a pre-drive check, including a vehicle check all around the car and making sure that you set yourself up well in the car, including your seat, steering wheel, and mirrors. So again, if you know what to prepare for and what they expect, you know what vehicle checks to do and how to set yourself up comfortably in the car. My final tip for test day is probably one of the most important tips I have. And this is preparing yourself for the anxiety and the stress that you might feel on the day. Now, each person is different and you might feel those jitters in different ways, but either way, I want you to be prepared for what you could possibly feel on the day. So taking a few steps back, if you can find a driving instructor that can do a mock test or a couple of mock tests for you, you might actually be able to put yourself in that scenario and see what feelings and emotions come up and how that impacts your driving. Because I have seen the best of drivers that I really genuinely feel are ready for their test and have a high chance of passing their test, but that stress and anxiety just gets to them on the day and they make mistakes that they've never made with me during a lesson. A couple of techniques that I find really help the learners that I drive with is breathing. So that not only can help settle your nerves, calm your nerves, and give your brain a bit of a break and moment to catch up, but it also is a really helpful tool to do in the moment. So you can do it beforehand, you can do it during your test when you have a moment, and make sure that anxiety isn't taking over your driving skills. Another really helpful stress management technique is to visualize yourself having a positive outcome. Now, if you are not well prepared and your driving skills are not up to scratch, this part is not going to help. But if you really feel like you have prepared well, visualizing a positive outcome and passing your driving test beforehand can really help making you feel confident on a physical and mindful level. You have just equipped yourself with the knowledge that could really help you pass your test. Comment below and like this video if you found it helpful. Best of luck for your driving test. You've got this, and remember to drive safe out there. See you in the next video.